Hypnosis Federation.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Free Hypnosis IHF. We have a very important topic tonight and something that will really benefit everyone. It's about taking time to do self-care, like a car that needs maintenance in order for it to really last. I'm sure you do the tune-ups and the oil changes and everything else. But I'm going to ask all the experts on this panel tonight to talk about what self-care, especially in today's world where everything is turned upside down. Well, we didn't think it could get crazier from COVID. It certainly did all around the world, and even personal things like illness or taking care of someone that's ill or really struggling with jobs, trying to make ends meet, or perhaps a breakup, or perhaps loss, you're grieving. Or suppose it's something else that really deeply wounds you and you just don't know how to move forward. We're going to help you do that. We're going to discuss what we do for self-care, and we're also going to discuss how we can help you. I'm going to invite Johnny Warhag. He's a wonderful hypnotist, but he deeply cares about his clients and all the people in his world and beyond, because he's a man of integrity. John, what would you like to tell us?
Wow. Thank you, Deborah. I have a lot of different feelings about this subject, and I think it's something that's critically important for all of us to understand that self-care, the first word is the most critical, self. You have to have the care to take care of yourself. And if you don't do it, nobody else will. Now, others can guide you, but they cannot do it for you. So it's important that you understand that you have to take the action. You have to do the things that are necessary to take care of yourself. That might be a physical thing, a social thing, a mental thing, a spiritual, emotional. There's all kinds of different self-care that you could work on. But the most important is that you understand that it's you that make the changes. I can suggest that you stop smoking. It's not going to work unless you want to stop smoking. I can suggest that you start exercising on a regular basis. You're not going to do it unless you're willing to get down and do the exercises, the walking, the swimming, whatever the exercise is that you are willing to do to achieve your goal of physical, and it'll help spiritually, mentally, emotionally. It'll help in every different direction as long as you're willing to take the time to learn what it is that you want and then progress and do it on a regular basis. Consistency, I think, is important. And most importantly, I think it is that you realize that you have the power. So it's an emotional thing that you're attached to. Maybe you want to lose weight. Gee, what happens? How do you lose weight? Possibly by dieting and physical exercise. Something emotionally is attracting you to food. Maybe it's an emotion. Whatever that is, you have to separate that from the eating. And then you can start enjoying your physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, all these different aspects of your life will start coming together. And then I'm going to hit you with the two big letters, IF. If you're willing to take the time and learn that that's all it is, self-care. And if you take care of yourself, you'll be a much happier person. I don't guarantee that, but I know I do for myself because I can only heal myself. I cannot heal others. So Whatever it is you want to do, make it yours. Make it yours. Thank you.
Oh, John, that was really so exquisite because it's so true. And I think most people know that Johnny was a Vietnam vet and he experienced a lot. And he came home and he had to experience a lot. And so he really does walk his talk. And I thank you so much for your service and I thank you so much for your wisdom. The next person I'd like to introduce is Grant Morrell. Grant, tell us what we can do to just feel better and feel good.
Thank you, Deb. Thank you very much. Maintenance, self-care, maintenance. Are you a car mechanic? Are you a hospital worker? Are you a talking therapist? Are you a hypnotist? Are you a mother, a father, a parent, a school teacher? The list goes on. I'd wager a bet that you spend a lot of time, one way or another, looking after other people. Perhaps you're a bit of an empath. But if that is, that can leave a dent on you. You need to replenish that energy. You need to restore that equilibrium. So what do you do for maintenance? Now, we know your car will work better if it is tuned up, if it is looked after, if it is maintained. We know it will burn less fuel and go a little bit faster and cause less fatigue on the components because it is working in tune, in harmony with each other. What do? We take our car to the garage. They used to flip the hood. Sorry, in America you call it a hood, we would call it a bonnet. They would flip that up and they would test the spark plugs and all this kind of stuff. What do we do now? We plug it into a computer and it gives a complete diagnostic. And it tells you what needs doing, if anything. People will regularly book their car in for this. They will schedule it like a hairdressing appointment or something like that, or a dental appointment. They will schedule it in. But you don't schedule yourself in for maintenance, do you? How crazy is that? A car that we drive around, a metal object that gets replaced and which is insured, we would take that care, but we don't maintain ourselves, the operating system behind everything in our lives. So what do? I know there's some ladies saying, you get a massage. I know, cool, that's fine. Is that your thing? Or you go to a spa. One of my clients said the other day, Grant, got to go. I've got to get to the gym. He had to burn it out, what was bothering him. He had to do that. That was his self-care. Some people just need to watch crap TV because they're using the brain all day long. They just need to unplug and do something silly at the end of the day. Some people drink a little beer in moderation, not a bad thing, depending on the individual. But what is it that you do? Now, one of the easiest ways, and I would say, is to tune in with a hypnotherapist. If you've never done it before, if you've always thought about it, if you haven't got a big trauma to deal with, perhaps you just want to feel good. Or as we used to say to people years ago when I used to do hypnosis in a little group and people would drop in like a drop-in clinic, we'd say, would you like to feel good for absolutely no reason at all? Would you like to get legally high without the aid of drugs? Do you just want to feel good? You just want a tune up. And I used to do this for special forces people. And they just want to tune up. They just want to tune up. They just want to feel a bit better. Something had gone wrong in their life. They just wanted the screws tightened up a little bit in the right order. So maybe you just want to try a little bit of hypnosis with someone. Maybe you can do it face to face or even online is easy. And we just tune people up. In the world of public speaking, sometimes I do that. If they got a bit of stage fright or they just don't feel like they're really pumping before they go, I'll just take them to one side, just give them a few minutes to tune them up, to leave them in better condition than I found them, so that their engine is working in harmony. Debs, over to you.
Oh, Grant, that was terrific because you are giving people the reminder to remember that you matter just as much as everybody else that you're probably taking care of, or your work, or your boss, or your deadlines, or that's right. And I love the tune-up. That is such a fantastic thing to do. That's right, because it really, everybody wants to feel good and feel better. So thank you for that, Pearl. I love that.
Woof, woof.
Okay, the next one that I'd like to introduce is Mary Beth.
All
Come
right,
on,
thank
Mary
you.
Beth, tell us.
Thank you, Deb. Well, I have a little mantra that I just kind of made up a few days ago. I was talking to one of my friends whose husband is really ill and she's been just overwhelmed. And I asked her how she was taking care of herself. So my little thing was self-care is health care, because we have to stay healthy in order to provide services for our loved ones. In that case, it was her husband who was ill, and he's getting better now. He's on the road to recovery now, but there was a few days where she was just like tipsy. She didn't know. She was just like really intense. So she and I had a little chat about taking care of yourself. And I know about, it took a long time for me to figure out that I have to stay healthy to take care of my family. And
Yes.
during illnesses and, you know, the other stuff that's going on. So I carve time out for myself. And I go swimming, and I take the dog for a walk. I just do those things for me. I do a lot for everyone else, but I just ask them to give me some time for myself, that I can watch a TV show without interruption or take the dog for a walk without them calling me and ask me where the peanut butter is, that kind of thing. So, and it took a while, but they are now respecting that time I want for myself. And that time is to be with all of you here now. And they know Thursdays, I get this little time for myself. They can bother me later and I'll be in a much better mood because I did do something good for myself and share that with others. So thank you, Deb.
Oh, Mary Beth, you are so right, because you set boundaries. And by you setting boundaries, you taught your children that you matter. It's like what I said before, but particularly mom, happy life.
Yes.
And I think every child needs to learn boundaries. And so, you know, I think you're setting a wonderful example. And I thank you so much for sharing that with us. It's a good
Oh, you're so
reminder for
welcome.
me
It's been a
too.
pleasure. All right,
That's
thank you.
right. And now Linda Herrick. Oh, Linda comes from Tennessee. Linda, you have so much wisdom and you have so much humor. Tell us what you most need to tell us.
Now I got to be wise and funny, no pressure. So I love this topic. It's so important. And I practice this and share this with my clients all the time, especially women. You have to fill up your well. Women tend to give and give and give, and some men give and give and give until the well is empty.
Yeah.
And then they take a little spoon and go between the bricks and go, oh, look, a teaspoon here. And they give that away and wonder why they become broke and broken. It's because you need to not only fill up your well, but overflow it, and only give from the overflow. This is how rich people stay rich, right? They never spend the interest. I mean, they only spend the interest. They never dip into the principal. That's why lottery winners, you know, go broke, because they just blow it all. And you know, money is energy. And if you just blow it, then you have none. So always fill up your well, overflow it. How do you overflow it? Perhaps, as Grant said, a massage, go to a spa, whatever makes your heart sing, that charges you up. And when you can see a crisis coming and go, uh-oh, look at that, I better get a mani and a pedi. You have to really, really overflow it. And if you just set the boundary, as you mentioned, Deb, of not ever dipping into that well, you're going to have more than enough to give to everyone else. This is not being selfish. It is being self-full. Whole different thing. Selfish is I have something, no one else can have it. It's mine, mine, mine. Self-full is I'm going to take care of myself so that I have so much more to give to others. So maintenance is so very, very important. And when you mentioned maintenance as a topic tonight, I thought of a furnace, and I'm sure I could do a great metaphor for that somehow, but you do need, because when do furnace people and AC people get the phone call? When it gets really cold, when it gets really hot. Oh no. And now you're in
Right.
crisis and trying to solve something in crisis. And there's no need to do that to yourself. Be kind and loving to yourself as you set those boundaries, as Mary Beth said, and you do that example for your family. It helps others set those boundaries as well. Healthy, loving boundaries are the key. And I just love what everyone said, but this is so very important because we can just run ourselves down until we're all the way down to kaput. And then you're not
True.
good for yourself. You're not good for anyone else. The most loving, kind thing you can do for those you love is to take the utmost care of yourself so you can be there for them and you can be there for yourself and have a joyous life. And so what's not to love about that? So I think that's what I have to say about maintenance.
Oh, wow, Linda, that was wonderful because you really spoke your truth and you actually live it and you
Yes.
teach it. And it's a wonderful, wonderful thing that you give, because it's like you're teaching others how to fish so they can make their own dinner. And it's just a wonderful thing. And it's such a, like, I agree with you. It's a very, very important topic. It's what I do because I know in order for me to have the equilibrium that I think that Grant spoke about, is that I have to utilize my physical body. So I actually got an app because I got tired of using the YouTube, and it's called Walk at Home app. And it feels like I'm in a gym class and I can do anywhere from 15 minutes all the way up to an hour and 15 minutes. And it's more than just walking. It's you really combine a lot of wonderful, easy exercise where even when you're really tired and you don't want to do it, after the 15-minute, you do get that runner's high, even though you're not running, and you just feel strong, and it really helps. I feel it's helping my heart and my lungs and my bones. When I need to calm myself with my stinking thinking thoughts, because, I do sometimes have little mini crises in my life from family members, and I take time to be alone. I close the door, and everyone knows when I close the door, it's my time. So there's the boundaries. But I do self-hypnosis. And sometimes I'll even use music, very, very beautiful classical or a very melodic cello or harp, but it really soothes my mind. So I'm able to dissociate the emotional, frustration and agita and be able to just allow myself to think positive, wonderful thoughts, reframe those thoughts into how I really want to see it. I change my story. And then with my spirit, because I feel that I would be empty without my spirituality. I dialogue with God, like the old book, Hello God, or Dear God, it's me, Margaret. Well, it's Hello God, it's me, Deb. And I feel like I receive answers when I'm humble, when I ask, and then I receive, either through thought or just a shift in the way I'm feeling. So those are things that I do. And if everyone on the panel, and if you're joining us and watching it, just close your eyes for a minute. Thank you. I promise it won't be long. Take a deep breath in and release. That's right. the breath really does help relax us when we learn to control our breathing. So find your own comfortable breathing rhythm and just tell your breath, slow down, and relax. And in your mind's eyes, because you're connecting with your wise mind, your God source within, that's what I like to call it. So ask your wise mind to show you a way where you can feel self-care that's the most beneficial for you. Maybe you'll hear it, see it, just know it. But feel those feelings while you're experiencing this self-care in your mind's eyes. And if you just go into this story in your head with self-care, even if it's only for 5 minutes, even if you're in the car and you just parked and you take 5 minutes, or you're at work and the only private place is in the bathroom, just 5 minutes. That's all you need. Because if you do a little, you'll just get little results. But if you do a little and you maintain it and you do it on a daily basis, just 5 minutes, it's like the little engine that could. You'll create this wonderful story in your physical reality, and you will feel good, and you will do good, and perhaps even teach others. But the most important thing, you serve as a role model. Others who love and respect you, they see what you're doing, they want to know what you're doing. So share it. 1, coming up, 2, and 3, eyes open. And know that anything is possible as long as you believe it is. It's like what John said. You have to believe it. Everyone on this panel gave great wisdom. I hope you listen to your own inner wisdom. And on that note, have a wonderful rest of the week. Bye for now.